Hey, what do you do? And what do you say? How you doing? Somebody gave me a strong craft beer to try today, so it's not bad. It's pretty good. Let's see how this goes. But the times have changed. Times have changed, and I'll tell you one way they've changed. I was thinking about it. School and school teachers. I remember going to school in the late 70s, early 80s, elementary school and high school. And my God, the teachers that we had they would not only be canceled today, they would be arrested and charged, and they'd have to flee the country, man. They wouldn't be able to teach anymore. Remember, we had one teacher, miserable lady. Oh my God. I don't know why. Anyway, this was like probably grade 7 or grade 8. But, oh my God, we would get to, I was in a group of 4 or 5 guys. We were the shit disturbers, the class clowns, and never did shit and talked and joked around. I have no idea how I found myself in that kind of a group. Imagine that. But we would get like the shit talk, like once a week, the shit talk. She would invite us all to the front of the class while the class is still going on. And, she had this big, huge wooden desk that faces the class, right? And then she would go down the line insulting us one at a time, right? Like, you got to shut your mouth and open your ears because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're a moron, or... you're immature. You're never going to grow up. So I just give it up. And the best of all, she turned to a friend beside me one time and goes, you know what? You don't have any brains in your head to let out. If someone cracked your head open, there'd be nothing in there. And it's like, Jesus. And even back then, I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, man. That's how you're talking to a student. Can you imagine nowadays a teacher saying that to one of her students? Again, not only canceled, man, you would be arrested. You would be brought up on charges and abuse, and you'd have to flee the country. You'd have to flee the continent. And the same teacher loved to give out detentions all the time. You didn't do your homework, and you fart around too much in class, and all right, you stay for detention. And detention was just, stick around after the class, the last class of the day, and you sit in your desk. Maybe show, you got to write out some lines, 100 times, 200 times on a piece of paper, or just sit there and shut the fuck up. So we're doing that one night. But a friend of mine, his dad was outside in the car waiting for my friend. They had to go to an appointment or something. And it's a, crazy, unhinged Italian guy who already had a bad reputation anyway. But this guy gets pissed off. Runs into the school, barges into the classroom, and starts ripping a new asshole on this teacher. It's like, I'm waiting down the stairs into my car running for a half an hour. I have to go to an appointment, and you keeping my son here. How dare you without saying nothing, not telling nobody. Holy shit, son of a bitch. And this teacher, this mean beast of a teacher, just sitting there, her face is going pale white, like her mouth dropped, like she didn't know what to say to this guy. And he was a lunatic anyway. He goes, if I gotta come here and do this again another time, I'm gonna make you cry in front of the class. I'm thinking like, and even then, this parent would get also arrested for abuse or whatever. Like, that's how people talked to each other in the 70s and the 80s. It was crazy. But the best of all was I think it was a grade 9 or 10 or something. This is in high school. And this one you gotta love. We're in class doing a lesson, and this teacher, this guy, he was a nice teacher, but he was a beast. He was like 6'5", 6'5", like 260 pounds, built like a fucking apartment building. He was huge. He looked like a football player. I think he actually did play football before he became a teacher. But this guy would never lose his temper. But this kid in the front who would not shut the fuck up all class long, So, and we used to sit in these desks. They probably still do. It's like this little one-piece desk, with the side, the armrest, and that came in the front, and you had your writing surface there, and you could flip these things up and down and get in your desk and flip it down. And they were one-piece little desks that you wiggle into, right? So this teacher turns around, doesn't say a word, turns around calmly, picks up this desk with the fucking kid sitting in it, lifts him up safely, had a good grip on him, lifts him up, kid and all, walks out the door was open, puts this kid in the middle of the hallway, comes back in, slams the door, and it was right beside the vice principal's office. And the vice principal was a fucking lunatic himself. So, he'd come out and see this kid like, what the fuck are you doing in the hallway? And then this kid would get like 3 assholes torn into him. But that was crazy. Can you imagine that happening now? A teacher doing that? Like, where do we start? Do you want to talk about cancel? This isn't about cancel. This is like criminal charges, man. Assault, battery, abuse. The insurances would freak out because, but this was commonplace that happened. This is, this was commonplace. This was a Catholic school. This wasn't a public school in a rough neighborhood. This was in Canada, but this was a Catholic school where all this shit was going on. But that's what I mean. This is what teachers were doing and what they were getting away with, and it was totally accepted by everybody, parents and this and that. I even had this teacher one time where, he used to say, okay, we're going to have parent-teacher interviews. And your parents come in, and I tell them we have a sit down, and I tell them how your school year has been, but you're not there, right? Just your parents make an appointment to go see this specific teacher, and they sit down. And I had this other teacher who was also like, I don't know, like this sarcastic, like he was nuts. He was like he loved the students to squirm. He was like sadistic or something. So he goes, Peter, bring your dad in for an interview, and I'm gonna tell him exactly what you've been doing, how much you've been fucking around. And I said, well, you know what, my mother wants to come in because she has the time, and she might come in instead. And he goes, no, don't. This guy had the impression that my father would beat the shit out of me, and my mother wouldn't. He's going like, no, bring your dad in so I can tell him what happened, and then your dad can smack you around. Oh, man. Welcome to the 70s and the 80s, man.